all the way on the inside. That's where the hole shot came in the 125 class. And Henry's been getting good starts. If he gets a jump out of there, he's going to push everybody wide.
Okay, the gate could drop now in between 5 to 10 seconds. The riders are ready. They're revving up their machines, and they're off. Jeremy McGrath, hole shot.
Jimmy Button down in the first corner. He's going to have to come from last now.
Swink of Honda of Troy's in second place as they round the second turn. Ezra Lusk in a great position. Doug Henry in fourth. Emig is in fifth behind Henry. And then a pack of riders including Stevenson, Lawrence, LaRocco, and Ward.
So in that rhythm section, Lusk inherits second place. Emig's right in there, but he's got to get around those two guys if he wants a shot at Jeremy.
McGrath already with a 3-second lead on Ezra Lusk. Brian Swink, Jeff Emig, and Doug Henry, and LaRocco has moved up. Skip Norfolk with goggles on down in the Dusty Mechanics area.
These guys are prepared. They're ready for anything.
Here comes Swink making a move on Ezra Lusk in second place. Number 23, Brian Swink. Came off a fine outdoor performance at Glen Helen, but Ezra holds him off.
Look at the lead McGrath has already in the first lap. This guy's just amazing. I mean, there's really not been anything to hold up Ezra Lusk. He hasn't had anybody blocking him, and already he's about 4 seconds down now, as best I can tell.
Ezra's going to play it smart, though. He still has a shot at third in the series. And that is miraculous considering his start on the season. A 16th, a 10th, and a 15th.
All he's got to do is finish ahead of LaRocco, I think, Art. He's going to pick up third in the series.
Or a 10th place position to get enough points.
It's looking good right now. I don't even see where LaRocco is yet. Emig just gets through that end zone loop section. Not really making any time on these guys yet.
That might be an interesting Team Suzuki battle coming down toward the end of the race. Ezra Lusk in second place, number 34, Brian Swink in third. Here's Jeremy McGrath way out in front already. He got the shot that Skip Norfolk asked him to get. That was the whole shot.
Doug Henry now just behind Emig, starting to come on strong.
McGrath with a 5-second lead over the yellow bike, number 34, Ezra Lusk. And Ezra starting to pull a little bit on Brian Swink. McGrath, Lusk, Swink, Emig, Henry, your order in the top 5 in the Suzuki Field Summary.
Now that Lusk has got that little bit of breathing room, he's going to go after Jeremy. That's all he cares about. He wants to win the last race of the season. If he can't, it gets towards about 3/4 of the way through the race, then he'll start thinking about the points in the championship and preserve that. Right now, he's going for it.
In the last 7 events, Ezra has 2 third-place finishes, 3 fourth-place finishes, a 6th, and a 7th. And that's allowed him to move up the point standings.
Wind really starting to gust right now. Somebody blew a hay bale out, so it's hard to find that berm you want to ride through with all that hay in the way. Jeremy's starting to inch away a little bit each lap. Just got that excellent throttle control and this hard slick stuff.
The Swinkster in third. Brian Swink had the flu all week last week at Glen Helen, but he showed at the end of the first moto when he tired, but still made the podium. And he came back to the gate shaking for the second moto. But his flu situation has now cleared up. He's in third place as he goes over the finish line jump.
Looks really good. He's getting over that little double into the whoops. Actually, when they land off that double, they bounce into the whoops. They don't even touch the first couple. Nice rhythm. It'd be a good finish for Brian if he can stay here, and it looks like he can. Look at what he's jumping there. He's doing something a little different than everybody else. I only saw Jeremy do that in practice. He's making up a lot of time on Lusk. If he's close enough the next lap, he'll pass him there. He's got a
5-second lead on Emig. As we look at the battle behind Emig, Henry and Larry Ward.
You see Henry when he does that triple jump, his feet come completely up off the pegs. A lot of guys do that. They come completely loose from the motorcycle. To the amateurs, they're like, whoa, what happened there? But these guys ride so relaxed, they can afford to get away with stuff like that.
Well, Henry truly improved. He got back on the Supercross circuit in the Atlanta race. That was the first race he was able to participate in coming off the injured list. And here comes Larry Ward on the outside. Ward just not quite the momentum to get through there to get the break at the corner.
Well, at the moment, it looks like Larry's a little quicker. And look, there's that jump. He jumped from that plateau all the way over the other jump into the corner. I think he might come out ahead in this exchange. No, not quite.
Oh, that's interesting strategy, taking the inside or the outside. Do you have enough momentum to get by the inside rider?
Right now, Lawrence isn't close enough to him, so he can afford to take a little chance. I hope it pays off. If Henry was to make a little mistake, he would make the pass.
McGrath is your leader. 6 seconds on Ezra Lusk as Swingster starts to appear to close in. We've got the battle, though, behind Emig. Larry Ward makes the pass, and let's go down to Marty Reed.
Well, we're down here with Pete Steinbrecher. Your man just got passed for position, but he's riding pretty strong.
Yeah, he's just trying to do his best till he gets stronger, and Doug seems to be doing that every race.
As far as his physical condition, where would you put him as far as where he's at?
Doug's at about a top 10 rider, and if he can finish in the under the top 10, that's quite an achievement.
Hey, I'll tell you what, guys, take a look at these goggles. You like the attire? It's the only thing that keeps the dust from blinding you. It's really getting wicked down here.
We're feeling it a little bit up here, too. Doug Henry, number 15, has felt that he reached a plateau. He had higher expectations, and down. That certainly wasn't in the book, and it's right in front of the mechanics area, his own mechanic, helping him there.
Just got offline coming through that whoop section. We saw that happen a little earlier. If you lean in there, because you're kind of making a left as you exit the whoops to that finish line jump, you start leaning in, that back end slides wide, and you aim right up to the left. Right here, he'd already crashed through the hay bales into the mechanics there, almost ran over his mechanic, Pete. Those guys were lucky that he fell into the hay bales there. He got a little protection from him.
And here's our leader, Jeremy McGrath.
No problems through the whoop section. Nice timing. Gasses it off the backside of that finish line jump, over the double, floating through the whoops. The guy's perfect. I could follow him around for an hour and try to find a mistake, and he just won't.
Emig was able to beat him in St. Louis, but if he comes back here,
that's he'll prove to what Skip was saying that was just a fluke. I don't know if Emig likes that. I got to hand it to Emig. He rode strong, but
and I got to hand it to LaRocco too. It was almost a team effort. Way out in front, Jeremy McGrath
on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Denver. Jeremy McGrath, our leader. Ezra Lusk in second. Swink, Emig, and Ward. And that's where the battles are really taking place right now.
Well, Larry Ward, it seemed like there for a bit was starting to make some time on Emig, but Emig's starting to pull away again. Larry Ward's actually getting a little pressure from Phil Lawrence. Lawrence is still there hounding him. Emig is, man, I'll bet you he wanted to win this race. He looked so good in the heat race, coming out to St. Louis, wanting to prove, no, that was not a fluke. I deserved it. And I didn't get the start he wanted. If he'd have gotten the whole shot, things would be a little different, but he didn't. So
LaRocco in 10th position. So Ezra Lusk has a very good chance of moving up that ladder to third in the points.
Whoa, and you just saw Emig there. The same thing that's been happening to a lot of guys. That's what happened to Doug Henry. But fortunately for Emig, he was a little closer to the end of that section, was able to hang on to it. There's Larry Ward. Close enough. There's Lawrence, too. Larry Ward looking over there. Oh, man, you're still there? Get away from me.
Lawrence having to avoid a plastic wrapper that smacked up into his face there. As you see all kinds of debris flying through the air on this wind-stricken track here at Mile High Stadium. Larry Ward and Phil Lawrence, number 13. Phil Lawrence is a good story, David Bailey.
Well, I'm really impressed. He started off the season so strong with a second place in Orlando.
Then a sixth place, the next one in Minnesota.
And he looked good for a while. Then he kind of dropped off the pace for a little bit. Had some bad luck, went down and got involved with some tangle-ups in the first lap, having to come from behind. But he's finishing off the season strong again. I got to wonder what would happen if he was on a factory bike, because the one he's riding is it's good. I don't want to say that he's not riding anything that's good, but the Great Western team has done a fine job of giving him a good bike and put him in contention to maybe even get third in the series, but still not up to par with what Emig and everybody else has got.
Well, it's no secret he doesn't have those graphite factory parts and those special parts.
Makes a big difference.
Let's get down to Larry. Let's get down to Marty.
Hey, your man's in a real battle out there.
Yeah, he's on the gas right now. Hopefully he can keep focused on Emig and keep on going forward. There's a couple places where he's starting to slow down a little bit, but hopefully we'll be able to pick it back up and end up getting Emig.
If he pulls this off, he'll never shave again.
Albertine, a hole in the radiator. More bad luck for the Team Suzuki rider, Greg Albertine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rejoin the action here. Larry Ward, you see, number 6. Here's our leader, Jeremy McGrath, as Ward was in the far part of the picture as McGrath just breezes along.
McGrath is we're on a different side of the stadium as Larry Ward right now. Just a huge lead. Look back behind him. He can't see anybody. Lusk is he's not losing a lot of time, but a second a lap adds up quick when you're 7-8 laps into the race.
You know, coming into this race, David Bailey with a 127-point lead on Emig. You'd think winning this many races in one season, it would be the largest margin of victory in the history of Supercross, but it actually isn't. 1975.
Yeah, Jim Ellis in the Supercross series on the 250. They had a 500 class back then. As we take a look at the Honda stopwatch, beat Marty Smith, who was a Team Honda rider, by 202 points. The point schedule, yeah, it was a little different back then, and Jim Ellis's dad now drives the Kawasaki rig.
Oh, Honda Troy rider went into the hay bale. Brian Swank, number 23.
Well, there goes the podium finish.
He was in third at the time, and he went flying into the hay bale. Over the finish line jump, Jeremy McGrath, as he takes on the little surfer's bump. Into the whoops he goes, unmolested for first.
The section I was talking about a little earlier, where Swink was making up all that time, jumping over the plateau and the next jump, that was the section. It's actually this section right here. Jeremy just did it right there. You see he jumps all the way over the plateau. 48-second lap time for Jeremy, quite a bit faster than the 125s.
Jimmy Button just left the race for the clutch lever. Broken.
That section, though, these guys are just getting ready to enter it as well. Watch Larry Ward.
Good back-and-forth battle between Lawrence and Ward. Lawrence on the number 13 bike, Ward number 6.
That's where Swink went off the racetrack. He couldn't make the corner, went out into the starting line, so he lost a lot of time. Good ride for Lawrence. He worked on Larry Ward. Ward had his eyes on Emig. Now he's got his eyes on the back end of Lawrence instead.
Jeremy McGrath, Lusk in second place. Emig now moves into third.
Art, it looks to me like the pace that Lawrence has got going right now, he might be able to catch Jeff Emig. He's not that far up the racetrack. Got a good look at him in the heat race, and he stayed close the whole time. There's McGrath's dad and sister, Tracy.
Boy, talk about focus. They've got more focus, I think, than Jeremy right now, as Jeremy flies over that triple.
Well, Jeremy makes it. He knows what's going on. You know, when you're driving with somebody that's driving fast, you're sitting in the passenger side going, slow down. Like when you're at the wheel, you got it under control. Jeremy knows what he's doing.
Swank has left the track for the pits with a damaged machine. Jack McGrath, the fist in the air. Go for it, my boy.
He's got to be proud. I mean, seeing his son race bicycles, and then I remember Jeremy when he was 3-digit number riding, I think, Pro Circuit for a while, and everyone hooting and hollering up in the press box for Jeremy, and I was like, who is this Jeremy McGrath guy? Next thing I know, he's winning everything in the 125 class. The same year that Damon Bradshaw won 9 races in 250, Jeremy was whipping up on the 125 guys.
McGrath realizes it's been the greatest season ever for a rider at Supercross, and he's not going to let a loss at St. Louis take away his focus, that's for sure.
Actually, a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit narrow than what we're used to. So I think that's just going to put more emphasis on the start. You know, you're going to have to get a good start, get a whole shot, and try and lead the thing from the beginning, because I think getting by riders is going to be tough. Yeah, a lot of bar banging out there for sure.
Now, getting by the riders is no problem in this race at all, as that fight was intended to be earlier in the race, I'm sure, because he got the whole shot. He got a big lead in the first lap, and he is cruising right now as Skip Norfolk, his mechanic, looks on. Here's Ezra Lusk. Ezra currently in second place, and this could be one of his finest finishes in Supercross history for this young man, and he needs it. His contract is up.
Well, this is good leverage for him coming off the season, winding up in third place in the series. His best finish in the 250 at the end of the season. He's got to be happy.
2 laps left in the race. Lee Collum, Ezra Lusk, temporary mechanic, and he's done a whale of a job substituting for Ed Longacre. As we take a look at the Suzuki field summary, McGrath way out in front, Lusk, Emig in third, but Lawrence might have a chance maybe with 2 laps. He is about 3 seconds in back of Jeff Emig, if something should happen to Emig.
You can see him back there just entering that straightaway Lusk just finished on. McGrath starting to light up the crowd, flashes going off. Lee Collum, he's trying to count off the seconds, tell him how much of a lead he's got on Emig. I think he might be concerned Emig's coming strong, because he is. There you see Emig just coming into your screen.
Here's Jeremy McGrath. It's a white flag lap. One more lap for Jeremy McGrath to win every race in the Supercross season but one.
I wish he could take that one over again. Emig with didn't get the start, but I don't think that he's riding quite the same in this main event as he did in St. Louis. I think he realized after about 3 or 4 laps into this race there was no way in the world he was going to catch Jeremy. Jeremy was gone. So he's just keeping it on 2 wheels. He's thinking about the outdoors. Jeremy's throwing it sideways. Here comes another triple.
And the neck.
Wow, what a great shot.
And the crowd is going crazy.
That really shows you from underneath like that how far off the side of the bike he can get. Amazing.
The checkers. And for Jeremy McGrath, his 43rd career victory. And Ezra Lusk, what a great effort, holding off Emig for 2nd place.
14 wins in a season out of 15 for McGrath. Pretty amazing.
Jeremy McGrath, his 14th win in 15 races. We'll be back with his words of wisdom. Marty Reed will be making his way over to the victory podium.